It's 5 o'clock, and time for Wiregrass Strong. The new coronavirus epidemic is a big problem that's expected to become bigger in the weeks and months to come. For those who are infected as well as those trying to avoid infection, these are trying times. But amid all the doom and gloom, there are some positive stories, positive messages, and reasons to remain hopeful. So every afternoon at this time, your Wiregrass Radio family of stations will come together while staying apart to help you stay informed. We're going to be seeking your input. If you're a business impacted by the virus, call and let the Wiregrass know what you are doing to continue safely providing your services or goods. And if you're a parent working hard to take care of your family, we'd love to hear how you are coping. Remember, only the facts, no hearsay or rumors, and we're trying to keep things positive. Our number is 334-699-1053, or you can join us on YouTube Live, and you can chat throughout the program. Well, we'd like to welcome you to Wiregrass Strong for a Monday, and this is Monday the 27th. Wiregrass Strong is brought to you as a public service of Knights Wrecker Service, big or small. They do it all. 899-3257, Dothan, Ashford, and Headland. Dwayne, Terry, Caleb, Jerry, the entire crew over there. Y'all go see them if you need them. Actually, they'll come to you. Knights Wrecker Service, 899-3257. We are broadcasting on all four of our radio stations in the Wiregrass: WESP, WECB, WJRL Dothan, and WBBK Blakely Dothan. Streaming live on Facebook at B1053 and on YouTube at Wiregrass Radio, the Wiregrass Radio channel. You can reach us by phone at 699-1053 if you have any questions for any members on our panel today. And we have a good one. We have Amy Pollard from Pollard and Dave in the morning here on B1053. Good afternoon, Amy.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's so good to be here.
And we also have the mayor of our fine hamlet, the hamlet of Dothan, Mayor Mark Saliba. Mark, good to have you here.
Glad to be here again. Good afternoon. Glad to be with my partner over other way, that way.
It's always a pleasure.
We're going to get it figured out sooner or later.
Just remember, it's the exact opposite of what you're thinking. That's right. We always enjoy it when we have the Mark and Mark show on here. It's the Mark and Mark show with also Mark Culver, the chairman of the Houston County Commission. Mark, hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. How are y'all this lovely Monday afternoon?
Well, we're hoping things are going to get a little better. We finally got the second round of SBA PPP approved, and boy, you better jump on board, because if it goes as fast as the first round went, but they did finally approve that. We're going to pop that up on the screen here. Paycheck Protection Program, the SBA loan that helps businesses keep their workforce employed during the coronavirus crisis, has been extended, and that was as of today. So that's one thing we got going for us. Something else we want to talk about is a press conference here with our Governor Kay Ivey tomorrow morning around 11 o'clock. She'll have a press conference. And gentlemen, are we going to have a press conference in Dothan tomorrow as well? You can tell us.
Don't have one scheduled yet. That doesn't mean we won't have one. We can throw one together real quick, but I think
we were kind of speculating. We work close-handed with the WTVY News 4 and WRGX team downstairs, and me and Stephen, their news director, were talking today. We said, well, we'll probably have one from Kay Ivey and perhaps one from the city. We'll see. So we will see. But should Miss Kay Ivey the governor open up certain businesses, some businesses, lift some restrictions tomorrow, how does it look for our city? How are we ready in the city and county?
Mr. Chairman, you want to go first?
Well, he said city. You go first.
Oh, I think he said city and county. I do think the governor is going to announce tomorrow what will happen after the April 30th, which is Thursday. I do think that all of our businesses are ready to open up. That's almost no brainer at this point. Even with the, we know we got to keep on doing the social distances and all the medical protocols. That's not going to stop. But I think that she will be very specific tomorrow, and we'll be entering a new phase of reopening on probably Friday.
So you think that the addition for what the governor will open up will just be more of specific types of businesses, no real restrictions or anything any different than what the businesses are already doing that are currently open?
Cameron, you want to go?
Well, I was going to say both of us better be careful saying what we think may happen tomorrow because
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know that we really know what's going to happen. I think there will be some loosening up. I mean, that's what we all anticipate, but to the extent that's going to be, I don't know that we can really say. And Mark and I have talked, and we certainly, we want our businesses to get back operational, get our people back to work, and but we also are cognizant of the fact that we are the medical hub, and we want to be
Hmm.
sure to not create more issues for our medical community in the long term too. So it's a very delicate balance, and we know they've looked at it and they'll do the right thing, and we may have a press conference and probably will at some point. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or Wednesday or when, just to let folks know where we are and what we're doing, and frankly to reassure people.
Do you
Do you
think,
think,
Mark, that
Mark,
it
that it
adds a
adds
little
a
bit
little
of
bit of
additional
additional
pressure to
pressure to
Governor Ivey
Governor Ivey
because
because
all the
all the
states that
states
we
that
are
we are
bordered
bordered
with
with
are all
are all
currently
currently
already
already
open?
open? I don't know which Mark you're asking, but
You.
Oh, you, Mark Culver.
yeah,
I'm trying to point to
well,
you, but I can't.
I think she's under a lot of pressure, not only just from the
Yeah,
states, but we've had other political folks here in the state that are saying yes, open, and
hmm,
there's just more to it than just saying open. As I said, I'm a business owner. Mark's a business owner. We want to see our businesses get back open, but
right,
we've just got to do it in the right way so that we're not back here 2 months down the road, and the federal government's not going to be able to provide stimulus money like they have now 2 or 3
right.
months down the road if we have to go through this again. So we got to do it right, and I think it'll be a stepped phase. I hope it'll be a stepped phased approach that's manageable. We've got to decide as city and county how we're going to get back in business, and I
Well,
think what she does will help with that also.
I was just going to ask, Mayor, does Governor Ivy give you the opportunity as a mayor to have input into her decision? Maybe not you in particular, but I would like to think that even all mayors in the state of Alabama have an opportunity to give their advice or their opinion in the matter. Um, is that standard, or when these decisions are made, do they typically just come from her?
Well, I'll have to give the governor and her staff an A plus. They have been very diligent about reaching out and getting input. There's 4 or 5 different groups. There's the Alabama League of Municipalities, that about 460 cities are being represented in the state of
Mhm.
Alabama by, that she touches base with. The 10 largest cities in the state, she touches base with the county, with representation there, probably BCA, medical communities, churches. I know of several groups that she has reached out to through this last month, asking for opinions, and her department's heads, Dr. Scott Harris, the Alabama Department of Public Health, the Attorney General, Education, the state superintendent. All of them have been very available to all of us whenever we've had questions for clarifications, because Chairman Culver and I, in our role here is mostly enforcement, and we didn't get to write it, and we don't get to really interpret it. We're here to help with the citizens trying to figure out how to live under the order that we've been given. But they've done a great job, I think, over the past month.
What do you think this decision tomorrow, if she is in fact going to make a decision, what do you think is going to be the biggest determining factor, Mayor?
Well, if you look at, she's alluded to, the federal plan, President Trump's plan, and it's got a gateway criteria that based on cases and symptoms and hospital capacity. They have said from the beginning that they're data driven and not date driven.
Hmm.
And I think in a couple of those categories we're doing good. I do think that in one of the categories we're still not where we need to be with the numbers yet, but I think she's trying to use the president's plan and do what's best for Alabama and what worked for Alabama across the state.
There's
Well,
no doubt that she is definitely firm in her stance on the fact that she is not out to meet a date. She is out to make sure that the citizens of Alabama stay safe, and we do this smartly. And with Scott Harris, Dr. Harris, standing right next to her, he's another one. You want him to say one thing, he ain't gonna say it just because you want him to. He's gonna say what's right and what the numbers show and medical research affirms. So that's one thing we have to say. They are definitely looking out for us, but it is kind of scary with Tennessee and Mississippi and the panhandle of Florida and the state of Georgia opening a lot of their businesses, especially Georgia, and it's been in the news of late. We have to be very careful, very careful.
so, Mark, I was going to ask you, and then, of course, Mayor as well. In your personal opinions, give us a report card on how you think we have done locally here in the Wiregrass area, not only at handling the situation, but as far as adhering to the shelter in place, and also handling it from a medical standpoint in our community.
I think we've done a great job. Anything we're faced with, whether it's a hurricane or or flood or something that family in need, whatever, anything we're faced with as a community, we do well. I think we have done what we've been asked. If you go to the grocery stores, at least half the people have masks on, as the mayor and I have asked, and the health department has asked. Um, our issue, I think, has been, and the part of it, frankly, that continues to concern me is that we have such an influx of people every day that come into our community,
Right.
and particularly from Georgia right now, who is struggling very much with this. When once things are opened, they're going to come back and start using our services, and they've had some issues. So we've got to be, wary of that. But our folks, I think, have done a great job. I mean, you just ride around and look and see what's going on. Now they're getting, particularly the small businesses are getting antsy at this point, and I don't blame them. They've suffered, and they're ready to
Right.
get back to work, and they see the big boxes, and with hundreds of people in them, and don't understand why they can't be, and they're ready to be open also. So hopefully that'll take place in the sooner than later.
Mayor, how do you feel about that?
I agree with Mark. Typically our people do well with listening to what we need to do in order to get through something that's tragic, whether it's tornadoes or hurricanes or now pandemics. But I do agree that everyone is on edge a little bit, and everybody's feelings have swung the gamut of from frustration and hard to understand. It's confusing. Where exactly are we? What's the right thing to do? Someone told me today it's it's even hard to consider what's fair, and that's what everybody is looking for, is what's fair. If you're in the medical community, you see firsthand more of what it can do, and if you're not, and you're just in the business community and you don't really see that, it's hard to
Right.
understand, their position to some degree, and so it's a trying time for everybody, but I think we've done a good job overall. I think we're ready for a new phase, and I'm glad to see something maybe happening on Thursday and Friday.
Well, I wanted to ask both of your opinions about this as well, where you're talking about both of you seem to think that we've done fairly well, and I tend to agree with that. But as with any situation that you've never been in before, it is a process of trial and error. With COVID-19 not looking like it's going away anytime soon, even maybe into the fall, what types of things would you guys, Mayor first, would you like to see implemented, or what types of things would you like to do in order of improvement going forward from here?
Well, I think that as we look back on this, and now, once the virus comes, it's always with us. The only thing that we get changed will be getting us vaccines and medicines to combat it when you get it, just like the flu. I think that we'll see some more attention that are paid in our businesses, as well as in the medical community, and probably schools and nursing homes, to pay a little more attention to the medical protocol. So when a flu season hits, maybe there's some things that we should do, not shutting businesses down, but just making sure that we're doing some of the things that we're doing now, as far as, making sure we're washing our hands, making sure our nursing homes and assisted livings, our elderly population, are taken care of. I think schools might be a little tougher, or maybe we should consider be a little tougher on kids that are coming there that are sick. Businesses likewise, if an employee has got a fever, I think that this is going to just bring attention to that to some degree. And I think it'll probably be a good thing. We still lose, what is it, around 35,000 people in the United States to flu-related deaths every year. So that's pretty tragic in itself.
Right.
So I think that that's what we'll probably see going forward.
Yeah, I think I don't think there is such a thing as the normal we had. We're going to have a new normal, and washing our hands and hand sanitizers and ingrained differences, whether we ever hear social distancing or not. Again, if we ever hear that, it'll be too soon. So,
Right.
but all of that's going to be part of our lives, I think, going forward. And I don't know that that's not a bad thing. The good thing about all this, there have been some habits that have been created that are good for people, I think. I mean, I've been working, frankly, where I am now, out of my backyard a good bit, and I've enjoyed it. And I think they're glad I'm not down at the county some of the time and working here. So that may be a good thing. Those kinds of things, spending time with family again, and there's been some good things that have come out of this, and I hope those good things continue, and we learn from those.
Absolutely.
I know it's going to be tough to get Amy Pollard back in this studio once she figures out she can do her show from next to her property and her pond with her chickens and the birds and
well,
sunshine.
You laugh about that, but that's going on everywhere. I mean, we have now trained everyone to work from home, and the question now is going to be, why can't I just keep doing this? I mean, that's going to happen. So.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to
That's
ask.
going to come from me too. So
that's going to be impactful to the real estate market too, because if they're all working from home, what do I need with all this office space? So
Right.
Well, don't say that. That's not Mark and I don't want to hear that at all.
Yeah. No.
Hey, I did want to let me break in here just a second to Amy and let you know this half hour is brought to you as a service of Knights Record Service, 899-3257. Great folks over there. We got a bunch of folks online here, and we do have a question. Cheryl says, county and city offices, will they be part of the first to start expanding, start opening their doors? And if she needs to get tags for April, how is that going to work? Are we still doing curbside on tags?
I haven't met with the probate judge yet. We were waiting to see what happens with the governor's call, but we're going to have a meeting, a department head meeting one day this week, probably Thursday. And if we feel right about it, then we would probably open back up Monday. I know our surrounding counties I've talked to today, and they're going to be opening back up Monday. If we do that, we will. The issue we've got in the tagline, everybody's been in there. You can't social distance. I hate to keep using that word in that tagline because they're right next to each other. So we would probably require, not just there, but we would probably, if we bring all employees back and we fully staff, we'll probably require employees to wear masks. And honestly, I think that's probably a good protocol for
Me too.
all businesses. I think that's a good protocol. And but we're thinking maybe bring everybody back. There's going to be a lot of catch up, just like you said, because we haven't done tags in quite a while. We'll probably stagger people so that they aren't within 6 feet of each other, and it's going to be an issue we're going to have to work through to begin with. But
Mark, if they were due for April, are those late fees going to be waived?
No, yes, we extend, or we didn't. The state extended those deadlines several weeks ago, so no
Very
worries.
Good. Okay, very good. I know a lot of people are anxious and curious about the schools, and I know that might not necessarily be y'all's department, but maybe you can shed some insight on what might even be possibilities for the school year in the fall. Like, have y'all been a part of any discussion with the school board on this, or can you shed any light on it?
I have not. I'm more concerned about making sure Auburn University goes back to business.
Oh no. Oh no.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, that's the end of the show, folks.
Gotta go out of here.
I will have this week. We're going to have David Sewell on from the Houston County School Superintendent. He'll be on here to talk about, and that is the question now. We know that the past school year is a wash, and the seniors of 2020, just our heartfelt. What can you say? That is something that's simply not going to come back, but. We are now worried about the 2021 school season, and I did see some information about maybe bringing in some more portable units to separate students more. And, of course, that's going to mean more teachers, and, of course, we'll discuss that with David Sewell here later this week. But if y'all have any insight that perhaps you've, like city schools, perhaps, I haven't.
Mayor, do you have any insight on that?
I think that we're probably still a month away or so to try to answer that well. Not us, not Mark and I, but I think that if you listen to Dr. Harris and the governor, large groups getting together are probably not going to happen in May and maybe not even in June as well. So, and that's just speculation. I think that's going to be the question, but I think we're probably a month away before they even really get into good conversations on that.
Okay. I know this is crazy, but I have to ask the road work in the city of Dothan. We all know how crazy traffic can be in Dothan. Have y'all been able to get quite a bit accomplished during this time with people not being on the roads?
Mark?
We are extremely busy. We, right before all this happened last year, they passed the Rebuild Alabama law, and we got gas tax money. And you wouldn't know we raised the gas tax with looking at the prices of gasoline, but yeah, we are extremely busy on implementing that, and got a lot of projects going. We've got and jointly with the city got the roundabout down there. And so the simple answer is yes, we are very, very busy. And, not just because there's not any traffic, we'd be doing it if there was traffic, but the fact that the traffic is down is good because it's putting less problems on people that would be using the road.
And a lot of our work is through the Alabama Department of Transportation, especially the circle work, and all of that's been, budgeted, and so we're continuing to work on all of it, and the monies that we've set aside for resurfacing are in our budgets as well, and we'll continue to do that work. And so I know that the orange barrels sometimes are no one likes to see them, but to me they're a sign of progress, and we're getting some things done. And once we get those done, we're good for another 20, 30 years. So on some of that stuff. So I'm excited about getting some of the road work that we're able to do. And like Mark, we haven't missed a step really on that.
And I wanted to take this opportunity to ask you guys both. We know that our medical community and our hospitals and our frontline workers, whether it be with our ambulance, our emergency service personnel, or whether they're working at the hospital, have done an amazing job. And I know that they are beyond exhausted at this point in time. A lot of them are doubling up on shifts. And I just wanted to give you both the opportunity to speak to those people right now who are really on the front lines, and let them know how you feel about their dedication.
Mark?
Well, if you talk to those that are at either hospital, especially those that are in emergency departments and ICU, pulmonary doctors, I mean, they are the front lines, and they go in every day knowing that there's certain chances that they could catch a virus or not, and as well as our police departments. That I was riding down the road and someone had looked like they had were walking and were not feeling well, and so a unit sent out. We have fire and we have police that are going there, and they're having to dress up in all the gear because they don't know who, when they're approaching someone, whether they may have the virus or not, COVID-19, and so they're on the front lines as well. And so we're very grateful to them and what they do every day. A lot of them are sacrificing a lot because they have families that they have to worry about, as well, when they go home to or not going home to stay quarantined for a while. So we can never say enough thanks to them.
Yeah, and again, go back to our community and how fortunate and blessed we are to live where we are. I think our community has really been responsive in trying to let all of them know that we are thinking of them and we do care about them. And I know there's been a lot of prayer events and special organized functions to recognize them and let them know that they are in our minds and in our thoughts and in our hearts. And it is tough, and again, back to where we started with all this about opening up or not. And you talk to them and a lot of them, and they will tell you how really devastating this virus can be. They've seen it, and so they're not nearly as excited about opening up as
And
those of
I
us
and I
in the
can
business.
understand that. I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
seeing it
absolutely.
from a side that
Absolutely.
most of us in the community, we never see
That's right.
the harsh reality of COVID-19, and they're seeing it live and in
Firsthand.
color. And I know that can be a difficult thing, and sometimes we need to be more considerate of that and understanding their hesitation. I believe I would have probably um, and their hesitation and anxiety and a lot of other things that come along with that. So my thoughts and prayers are always with our frontline workers, and I think they've done a phenomenal job. But I had one more question, and then I'm going to shut up because y'all know me, I'm always asking questions. But with this whole shutdown and everybody being at home more than usual, is there one thing or maybe a thing or two, guys, that you really are surprised that you wouldn't have thought you would miss so much, but now that you're at home and you're like taken out of the normal everyday, Mayor, that you are missing and you're looking forward to when we try to get things as close to normal as possible?
Well, it's a good question. It's a hard question. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is just people. I love the people that I get to see, right now. But uh, there are a lot of people that I normally, get to see on a
Right.
Wednesday or a Friday or a Sunday morning, and it's those groups that you check in with, once a week, and your parents or grandparents or kids, and grandkids that you don't get to see as much that I miss. So I think people is at the top of my list.
Yeah. By the way, I just had a good friend of mine, text me and said they love to hear the birds singing in the background. So I guess my outdoor office is working well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I miss my regular Friday morning coffee shop and our Wednesday morning gathering. I mean, we had groups at certain times and it goes back to what Mark just said, of people and being able to meet and socialize and talk about community and work together on things. And uh, even those now, we may need bigger tables because we're going to have to separate each other. So
Right.
it's going to be different. But yeah, the getting together and talking
Human
about things.
interaction.
That's it. That's it.
I miss it too, guys.
I do enjoy my office that I have here, but the human interaction is good. We all need that, I think.
I agree.
I miss shaking hands. It's the worst thing in the world. If you're a handshaker, you just miss walking up to someone and shaking hands with them, and you feel odd. You
You
feel
just got to
odd.
bump a wing now.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. Slap the foot or whatever.
That may be slow to come back too.
It might.
May be slow to come back. It may.
Well, look, we've had a great time today. We want to thank our guest, Mark Culver, the chairman of the Houston County Commission, and Mayor Mark Saliba of Dothan, Alabama. Thank you, gentlemen, both very much for being here with us. Always informative, always fun when you guys drop by Wiregrass Strong. And we do want to say a couple of more things real quick. We had Secretary of State John Merrill on the week before last, I think at the end of the week. And he's very concerned about absentee balloting for the upcoming runoff election. So investigate that, folks, and reach out. He said just check that box that says you are infirmed or taking care of someone who's sick as a reason for absentee balloting, and go ahead and take care of that before the July runoff. The second thing is we're going to have David Sewell on later this week, and also we'll be carrying Governor Ivey's press conference here live on the air tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock on all four of our radio station properties. Mayor, Chairman, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank
Amy
you.
Pollard, you can catch Pollard and Dave tomorrow morning on B1053 right here. She'll be by her pond. She's going to get that set up this afternoon.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
See you,
folks,
Mayor.
so much for
Thank
being
you.
with us.
See ya.
Thank y'all so much.
All right, folks, be sure and join us tomorrow at 5 o'clock on Wiregrass Strong. And in the meantime, stay strong, Wiregrass. We're looking forward to hearing what the governor has to say tomorrow, 11 o'clock, live right here on all four of our radio station properties, WESP, WECB, WJRL Dothan, WBBK Blakely Dothan. This half hour brought to you as a public service of Knights Wrecker Service, streaming live on Facebook at B1053 and on YouTube Live on our channel, Wiregrass Radio. Until tomorrow, we now return you to your normal programming.